They go through and try and control people's diets. They do everything to try to control it. Because what they're trying to do is get under the best conditions. That's what efficacy kind of looks at. They also usually try to get a homogeneous group. So that's why most pharmaceuticals, it's like one of the criticisms of randomized control trials is that it's usually white people with insurance who end up, it used to be males, it used to be white males with insurance who would be the ones who had most of the drug trials. In fact, when my wife was doing her PhD in Wisconsin, and she was on a trial for breast cancer drug. And then the breast cancer drug, that they recruit people from Wisconsin. And so the group that they recruited in breast cancer drug trials were, they're all women, but they were 80% had master's degrees or higher, and they were all white, right? Because they wanted a homogeneous group, and that's what they got. So that's what oftentimes happens with efficacy trials, is efficacy trials is under ideal conditions. Effectiveness trial, that's stage 3, that's where they do things in the real world. So, like with COVID, when COVID was being tested, what they did is that they first did kind of just some small scale trials. And one of the problems when they do something like a vaccine for COVID is that they actually need to give it to a lot of people. And so what they did for COVID is they gave it to like 10,000 people the vaccine. And then they looked to see how many people got COVID who had the vaccine and how many people got COVID who didn't have the vaccine. And I think the numbers were like in the study trial that they went through was like 96 got COVID without the vaccine in the study trial, and like 7 got COVID with the vaccine. So therefore, it was seen as like this was effective. That's how they got the effectiveness. That's also why one of the reasons why they could get the vaccine so quickly for COVID, they couldn't get it for Ebola, right? It's because there were so many people getting COVID. It meant that you had a whole bunch of people who that they could actually test effectiveness of different things on. But if you have a rare kind of condition, like Ebola, or especially some rare type of dengue fever, something that here is very rare, is that you just don't get that exposure to test really get samples like that. But that's stage 2 is efficacy, stage 3 then is when they do effectiveness. Now there's a number of reasons why something can be efficacious as that past stage 2, but not be effective. So one of them could be just that when you start doing it on a wider population, is that it's not effective for everyone. That's one possibility. Another one is that things can screw up along the way, or things are different. So when they start to move from ideal clinical trials and start to do it where they have actual doctors giving the vaccines, and actual nurses giving the vaccine, and things like that, then it can screw it up. Okay. So the main thing that these drug companies do is that they do drug development. So drug development
a week, and then the next one hit me like 80.
They go from buying this initial compound to basically. So it accounts for about $233 billion across the side. If you notice is that
Hey, you still got better frames though.
if you notice is that about half of all the development is that's research. It's because drug companies tend to look. So if you build up with a lot of drug companies. And so they purposely look because that's what they do a lot of testing.
Controller player.
About all the other kind of development research. All right, so the price. There's a difference between different types of pricing. There's brand pricing, and then there's generic pricing. So if you go to CVS, when they see that aspirin, CVS aspirin is generic. So brand pricing is just higher than generic prices. So why is
Uh,
right here?
I was
CVS,
just waiting for it.
aspirin, and Bayer aspirin. They're both aspirin. Is right here. CVS.
Oh my god. Alright. You versus Marcel again.
Easier in the stomach. So typically the actual compound is the same, but there can be under sometimes difference. But the other difference is that
Alright.
to trust that if you did a Bayer aspirin, then you know it's going to be aspirin. Or if you go to you stop by a liquor store and they're selling aspirin, you kind of probably it's going to be a bit, but not necessarily. And so one thing you get from brand things is that you get it's some kind of assurance that this is a reputable. Well, what's the difference? That's the difference between generics and brands. The generics brands don't come from, not drugs don't start off. So what happens is that someone develops is that means that it can't be much generics. But typically it means it can't be much
Hey,
generics
bruh.
for 20 years. So
You gotta keep your shit charged.
Gilead produced its peptide C, which is great advancement. What happened
You might be.
because they have a patent on it. And so they sold it for about $1,000. For like $100,000 in dosage.
Like, wow.
So, why did they do that? Well, because they so they
825.
how they have the numbers. But essentially what it is that they could sell it
Yeah.
for $100,000.
You might last me a little today.
So when it comes to market, when it initially starts, that's what they sell for $100,000. And then what happens is that as soon as all the other companies, see what Gilead has done, they start to get an idea, is that they analyze the drug. And they start to look to see what happens.
Sure, wellness goals are great, but so are little changes for the better, like better sleep, a better mood.
Okay, let me describe. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to go into. Okay, let me describe. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to go into a very detailed description. I can sum it up in one word. Today was long. Today was very long. It was, there wasn't a lot of movement. I was pretty much just hovering around in the house, but I was just rotating between 3 states of being. Studying, going down in the kitchen to eat something, and then laying down and, watching episodes of The Sopranos. So that was in preparation for an exam that I had at 5. I do feel like I did pretty good on it, at least relative to how comfortable I am with the material, but it's whatever. So, whole day of that, but I feel pretty carved up. I had over the course of the day, I had a whole baguette that I was dipping in some olive oil with some pepper flakes and salt. Plus, I was drinking a ton of electrolyte packs and water. So I feel carved up, electrolyted up. It's not really a saying, but I don't know why it's not a saying. Your electrolytes are freaking important, man. I feel like I've gone on so many rants hyping up electrolytes, so we'll just skip it. But I'm not particularly, well, I am enthused. I am excited to go lift. But in terms of how I kind of feel physically, I think if I were to lay down in bed and get cozy, I would probably pass. I'd probably pass the heck out in about 0.1 seconds. So if you're ever in that state, and let's say time is ticking, it's getting late for your lift, you know, the last thing you're going to want to do is put it off. You know, I mean, ideally you're going to want to be so hyped up about lifting that you would never want to put it off. Right? But sometimes, you know, you do kind of feel tired. You know, I'll definitely get some, I'm just going to sit down for like 30 more minutes, and then I'll get up and, you know, take the pre, get in the car, and drive over. You know, I'll still get that. But if you are kind of feeling that kind of lethargy, you're going to feel better if instead of just saying, screw it, no lift for me, I'll make it a rest day. If you actually go in, get in the car, as soon as you take your pre and you do your warm-up sets, right, hype should begin to kick in. Hype should freaking begin to kick in. Especially if you watch, you know, something to hype you up, some kind of AMV. Last, was it chest? Yeah, last chest day I was spamming the song, the OST, when Reiner and Bertolt fucking, when that curtain was unveiled. That's fucking cool. That's one thing that I do like about listening to songs from soundtracks, is you kind of get an extra level of hype. Because you can listen to a song, and it can have its own inherent value, like fucking, I don't know, some kind of Metallica something or other, or fucking, let me think of what else, you know, like Suicide Boy, shit like that. Like, the song can just be badass. But if you kind of correlate that in your mind with fucking, you know, some kind of, I guess really what all I'm really saying is, if you fucking watch anime, you can get hyped up by that. But, you know how that is. I find it very interesting. I say this a lot, that there's only two kind of anime fans, right? Fucking, I guess I don't want to be mean, but let's just say one of them goes to the gym, works out, and gets jacked. And then the other one, I don't know what they do. I don't want to associate. But arms, triceps first, forearms are going to happen at the end. And I think I'm letting my fucking ego take over, because I keep trying to push through the pain of my right bicep, because it is only like a minor twinge. Like, I can still do my heavy sets, and like, I'm not impeded physically, but I can tell that sometimes it's just a little sore. I think I should, how about this? I don't think I'm capable of skipping it for too long, because it's not that bad. But if I curl the 60s or heavier, then I'm probably just re-injuring myself very slightly. And if I keep doing that over time, you know, I go on rants about this almost every video, or at least every couple. If something hurts, you know, don't fucking do it. Right? And if that little thing, that voice in the back of your mind that's telling you to push through it, that's not a voice you should be listening to. So I'll do some feeler reps of curls and see how I feel. But I think I need to just pull back on the weight a little bit. I didn't have like an actual incident, but I can tell, just like if I flex extra hard, just one little point, right, kind of on the peak, is just a little bit extra tender, just a little. So of course, if something on my fucking build is compromised, my first thought is not, okay, who cares, let's just push through it, whatever, it's fine. Fast forward 2 weeks, holy fuck, dude, I'm fucked. Oh shit. You know, that's not a situation I want to be in. So I'm already here. I haven't even talked about the lift at all. So push downs, probably of a variety, maybe single arm, maybe double arm. Definitely gonna do some overhead single arm tricep extensions with a dumbbell. That stretched position that I get from there compared to a normal push down, I think that is going to push my triceps over the edge into legit growth. And then forearm, same as normal, forearm curls, reverse forearm curls, and then potentially some curls. I'll decide. I'll decide later. But let's focus on triceps first and get started.
Suppose you have
Reasonably packed, but I was able to get a hold of a cable, which I mean, I've probably had hundreds of tricep days where all I did was put different attachments on the cable. I just stayed in the same place. But I think instead of trying to load up, 3 or 2 plates on the stack and doing both arms at once with a straight bar, I'll start with a light squeezing set with one handle at a time. So my right tricep's a little bit behind the left one. So I'll get, I don't know, let's say 20 reps on the right. If the left one could get 25, I'm still going to stop at 20 just to kind of, limit its growth and let the right one catch up. But nothing else to say but focus on the squeeze.
So there's for every one drug that they sell, there's been 900 drugs that they try to make and for whatever reason, they just have in their mind. Okay, so this is what's cost. So suppose that you're going to cost $2. So the cost of anything you buy is just $2. That's the manufacturing cost. And they sold 10,000. They sold 10,000. And so the total cost.
Okay.
So if you add that up, and then they get sell the right, and you're going to get so it's going to cost $20,000.
I thought I was going to do 2, but let's just move on to overhead dumbbell. Let's see how this one set and move on method feels. Yeah, I think just, well, I mean, you gotta think, I'm only gonna do a couple of sets. So, I don't know. Maybe if I just liked the feeling of those single arm pushdowns, I would do more. But I guess in my mind, I'm like, yeah, just move on to something else. So, since I've only done one set, instead of the 50s, I should be able to handle the 65s for some single arm overhead. And then, of course, I'm really emphasizing the stretch. Like, honestly, I want it to feel like it's going to rip the bicep off. Not really, but you get what I'm saying.
So the cost is actually $13, which means that the total cost is $80,000. So if you sell $10,000 per day, 10,000 days, and actually use so you can on the surface. And you're selling $10. Selling $10
Oh, fuck.
So this is basically your sign.
Yeah.
So your sign.
It's kind of interesting. Usually my right tricep is weaker than my left. Huh. Good set, but let's drop it to the 55s.
Now, what's your average cost? And so the number of places is 10,000. Your average cost and the cost of making it is $2. So you have 13. So your total cost so then you have 10,000 and you sell it for $10. So this is where you lose $30,000. So your marginal Your average cost is the cost plus all of the development costs. That's $13. And your profit at this is going to be $30,000, or negative $30,000. All of that. So the question is, well, what if you sell 100,000 pills? Well, let's see. You sell 100,000 pills. Okay, so you make 100,000, and you sell 100,000. Is that now suddenly you have your costs are 310,000. Now your profits are $1 million, so you're making now $690,000. Okay, so when we're back to 10,000. Yes. And what if you could sell this not for $10, but you could sell it for $25? Well, now suddenly you get the same cost, but now your revenue goes up. Point being is that, so there's a couple points with this. One is that the marginal cost, when they talk about the marginal cost, what they mean is just the cost to make it. So in this case, $2 per pill. When they talk about the average cost, they're talking about the cost of making the pill plus development costs. But that development cost is going to depend upon the number of pills that are sold or that are made. So in this case, the development cost is $11. But if you
Okay.
pills,
Let's move on to something else.
because basically that
Hit that pose, take that flick, check your angle, post that. Hit that pose, take that flick, check your angle, post that. Hit that pose, take that flick.
Get Google Pixel 8 Pro free with eligible trade-in at AT&T.
So
When I got the script, I was like, does Taco Bell really not have a breakfast taco? Doesn't that concern you?
I think I might just be done after this next set. I'll see how it feels, but honestly, I already feel pretty fatigued. We'll see. We'll decide in a little bit. All right, one more with a straight bar, but then we're done. I think I'm approaching what I would call fully stimulated as well as fully pumped. So let's see if I can just find the handle I want. Okay. All right. Yeah. Triceps are fully cooked. And not just fully cooked, I think perfectly cooked. Let's go do some curls. Well, let's go see how curls feel.
So these are the
All right, so I can't stay away from buys. I gotta get a little pump going. But instead of going for like the fucking 80s, let's just do a couple sets with let's do one with the 35s and see how I feel. So definitely this bicep workout it's not really something I would just do out of nowhere. Like I think if you've tweaked something, obviously you don't want to fucking re-injure it, but you do want to get it moving around. I pulled my hamstring pretty fucking bad last Christmas, and I mean, dude, it was, if I sat down for a couple minutes and then stood up, fire, couldn't even walk, I was like limping. But just moving around, even with just my morning cardio on the seated bike, I think getting some blood flow in the area is good for you. So let's say you, slight pull on something, slight tweak on something, going light, getting some activation, I think that's going to be good for you. But, use your best discretion. I'm not your physician. But set of curls with the 35s, control, squeeze, and I'll decide what to do next.
So people have to do the test because they have no choice, no drug company's going to step in. But if it does, it takes a long time for that drug company to step in. But they know, if someone, other drug company steps in and starts to compete, is that then the price is just going to come down. So they make all this money while they're waiting for that other drug company to come to it. That's why it's a good to see anything. Congress start talking about regulating these orphan drugs. And we'll say, orphan drugs is that you can't build insignificant resources in purchasing. So they're trying to stop that kind of sense. I don't think that it passed, but it's been a real problem. So, for people with very rare medication, it's been a real problem. Okay. So, point of this is that, drug companies to cover their costs, they have to go through, they have to be able to either get a high price or sell it a lot of time. So one of the things is that they need to do that is and then they can protect it, right, from counterfeits. So that
I don't know how many I could have done if I was just going for straight up failure.
And that
But,
also is that
I'm still feeling a residual burn right now. So this is not my typical bicep workout. But I do want some bicep stimulation, even if I have to kind of restrict the weight, restrict the tension. But let's go do something else. I did a quick feeler rep, but I think some 35-pound preachers will do me good. So I did remember to bring I remembered to bring the measuring tape today. So I measured unpumped in the house, 19 inches pretty much flat. So that's baseline. And when we go check the pumped measurements, I'm hoping at least 19 and a half. Well, I know it's going to be at least 19 and a half, but I would love to be pleasantly surprised by something, approaching 20. Every time I talk about arms, I say the same thing. 20 inches pumped, that's pretty cool, but 20 inches cold, that's not nothing. But let's just get another squeezing set done here and probably just move on to a whole new movement and do the same thing. Light and squeeze, get some good burning activation.
The second part, they talk about all the horrible side effects that can occur. So not only do this, but the FDA requires that they list the side effects for these drugs. So that's why you'll see that first half of the commercial is
Fuck.
They know that they have to give all this horrible information, so they can keep engaged with other things and hopefully they'll just not pay attention to that. The US and New Zealand are the only two countries that allow direct to consumer advertising.
One more like that.
Most countries you can't. The other way so if you're
Let's move on to something else. I'm just going to finish off buys with a set of, it's basically just normal straight bar cable curls, but instead of standing up, I'm just going to sit down. I kind of feel like when I do them standing, I probably have a little bit more power. I can go a little bit heavier because I can kind of get some more body language into it. But seated, I get less of a lower back pump. So since it's going to be my last set, I'm going to make sure I go crazy. Seriously fucking squeeze as if I'm trying to fucking pop my biceps. And then we go check the pump and measure just how, trying to think of a cool word. And measure just how, let's just say monstrous they are. There we go.
Do you know that they've done studies to figure out how much that these drug reps have to pay to get the doctors to use their drug? And it comes down to, well, what do you think? How much do you think is that, what's the amount that by which they start to see more use of those drugs? Because, just to be clear, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the doctor, when the patient comes in, and has heart disease, or is that they've got another. They're trying to get I can use my land. And so that's
Let's go close down.
Thursday Night Football on Prime. It's on.
Being able to do the things that I love is super important.
All right, so how many was that? Only what, 4-ish? Well, 4 sets for buys. Well, what, 5 sets for triceps? Let's see if the pump is any different from my old, fucking 11. So I'm doing almost a third the volume that I was doing before. But this pump is not even, I'd say it's not even noticeably different at all. Not that I think it would be. And don't get confused. I'm not saying that just getting a pump is all you have to do to grow. Like, I probably would have preferred to do some heavier sets for buys, because mass moves mass. A big muscle is a strong muscle. So the stronger you get, the bigger you'll get. To an extent, of course. But if I had the choice between skipping biceps or doing just a little bit and working around something, what do you think I'm gonna do? What do you think I am gonna do? So before we do any poses, let's get the measurement, just so we can get the, most accurate max pump value possible. How about this? Submit your guesses. Submit your guesses. What are we looking like? Fuck, man. I think I've got to put my money on 19.5. Could be wrong though, so let's find out. It's kind of tricky to do this alone. Usually it's easier if you have a guy fucking help you, but whatever. And then make sure you do it fairly, all right? Don't fucking measure crooked or anything weird like that. So not only are you lying to other people, but you're just lying to yourself. You were just lying to your freaking self. Come on. Yeah, fuck. 19.5. 19 and a freaking half on the dot. So my right arm actually used to be noticeably smaller than the left, but now they've pretty much balanced. Oh, dude. The right one's actually a little bit bigger now. I think I'm measuring slightly unfairly. Oh yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit of unfairness going on. You want it to be pretty much perpendicular. Yeah, 19.5 too. So 19.5 pumped. It's a cool number. That's a cool number. Not 20. Not 20. And I know that once they get to 20, I'm just going to say, oh, not 21. Oh, now they're not 22. But whatever. Constantly chasing the pump, right? By the time I reach arms this size unpumped, then I'm going to be chasing how big they are pumped. And it's just a constant loop of, hypothetically, growth and progress, not torment. I think there's a fine line when it comes to looking at your body as a vector of progress between, like, all right, yeah, we're making good progress, and, oh god, this sucks. We all know the fucking body dysmorphia posts. The more you can lean towards this cool side instead of this fucking manic, narcissistic, everything else going on over here, the better. But let's bust out some classics.
Gets up to the podium and says, I had a patient who was doing that. Talks for 5 minutes. The next one comes up. Talks for 5 minutes. Next one comes up. And I started noticing through the day is that they're like, they're doing it by seniority. And everyone's leaving. And I look at the school board, and I said, I just get
Bad freaking ass, man. Arms, well, half an inch bigger around than normal. I'm literally just looking at myself in the future. I'm time traveling into what I'll look like unpumped in hopefully just a few months, at least size-wise. But I think that's pretty much all I got to say for arms. Let's just go do some forearms. All right, so back again in the side room. So 25 pounder. My basic routine for forearms, you know, I don't really do anything too crazy. You're not going to catch me doing like a arm wrestler forearm workout with like fucking, oh my God, what's his name? You're not going to catch me doing some Devin Laren shit. Or no, Devin Larrett. Don't let me disrespect him like that. You're not going to catch me like tying a 100-pound dumbbell to a karate belt and fucking doing some shit like this. But your forearms are a muscle. If you want them to grow, you got to train them directly. So you've got two basic parts of them, which when you grow them, are gonna make you look cool, right? There's this kind of bottom part, right, which is gonna tense up when you like flex downwards, you know, as if you're trying to fucking do a forearm curl like that. And then you've also got some extra shit over here, which I feel like really gets neglected. You know, if people are neglecting their forearms, then these little flexors or extenders, I don't know the terminology. These are, I'd say, probably the most neglected muscle group, except for maybe neck, but who does that? So real light, 25 pounds, and then I'm just gonna sit here for like 10 minutes, right? Just like this, put it down, wait a second. Honestly, it's not a very taxing movement. Like, my forearms are gonna recover in maybe 30 seconds. So really, I'm just gonna sit here spamming them, pumping up the back of my forearms, and then we can go do some kind of cable curl or some kind of something or other for the bottom part, and go see how pumped they got. I'll just show one of each. It'll get kind of repetitive if I just show fucking 4 back to back.
Lifestyle changes that you can make by using drugs to control and reduce the risk of stroke. So they're not doing that better. They are doing things that benefit them financially as a business, but at the same time, there's some kind of benefit as well. So that's why they focus on doctors, because doctors are your agent.
Oh, fuck.
So here's what the marketing budgets look like. And this is that there's different types. So here's the right group is prescription drugs.
Okay.
And this shows the difference from 1997.
Let's fast forward to this part. But I can sit here for
A second type,
however
so
long.
prescription drugs,
I'll update you. I'll keep you updated.
is prescription
So,
drugs. There's also
it's, well,
disease awareness.
I was about to say pretty basic movement, but honestly, when I do these, I don't just kind of do them mindlessly. I'm really trying to, like, I mean, I'm doing a lot of weight. I got a lot of tension on my forearms, but I want to squeeze it hard enough that I really get a burning sensation. You know, I think I go about forearms a little bit more like I do shoulders. I'm not going to try to do lateral raises with 100-pounders. I'll use a weight that I can actually manage and get good, effective reps with. But, you know, as heavy as I can go. I wouldn't mind doing just a straight bar and doing both hands at once, but I kind of feel like I can get a better squeeze doing one at a time. But I'll just do the one, and we'll fast forward through the next like 4, maybe 5 more, and go see just how inflated they get.
And there's health services, but that refers to different types of so you can see, for the doctors, it's basically all prescription drugs.
Oh,
Here's from this study. Here's how things, these are the top 5 drugs that they advertised, and the difference between 1997 and 2016. So here's smoking cessation.
Yeah, I got a few more there. Let's skip to the pump. So it's literally tricky to fucking even open my hands all the way up. Oh, jeez. Like, I feel like I just tried to rock climb. Holy shit, dude. My right forearm's vascularity is much gnarlier than the left. Like, they're both cool, but the right one just... the right one just has a little extra. Just a little freaking extra. But, dude, if they stay this pumped by the time I get home, there is no chance I get a fucking victory royale. But, you know, whatever. So, forearms, I've been adding them in recently, kind of just because I want bigger forearms. But for the most part, they're relatively proportional with everything else. I just kind of want to get them a little beefier. So, in my, let's just say more formative years, arm day was arms and forearms. Basically, my routine was in between every set of biceps, I would do a set of forearm curls, either with a dumbbell or on the rope. Well, either with a dumbbell or on the cable. And then same thing with the reverse forearm. Like, set of curls, then one of those. Set of curls, then one of those. Like, they got just as much attention as everything else. But eventually they kind of got to a point of, let's just say, well, I got to a point of comfortability with them. To the point where, you know, I felt like I didn't really have to add them in anymore. But I'd say I'll probably do it for a little bit longer, for sure. I want to deposit some more protein right under these chicken wings and flats. But, dude, fuck, man. Oh, shit. Who does this remind you of? How do they do the... You get what I'm saying. Let's get in the fucking car, dude. I can't focus. I can't even focus right now.
Will you marry me?
Get Google Pixel 8 Pro free with eligible trade-in at AT&T.
Okay, my house is it's in a state at the moment. It is in a state, primarily the fucking kitchen. Not ideal for me. So that's going to be my task for tonight. But before I do that, obviously I got to eat. So my let's say my nightly tonight's agenda includes a couple of things: a ribeye with some ramen and some donuts, potentially some chocolate milk as well. And then, once I've got a real full belly with some complex as well as simple carbs, plus some proteins and fats, being from the ribeye, then, in terms of bodybuilding, in terms of muscle growth, I will have done all I can do. All I got to do is wait maybe an hour or two before I eat again. So I'll use that time in between meals to just watch The Sopranos and clean all my nasty dishes. Well, they're not nasty, but it's just and our sink is so small, so it fills up. I'm just so lazy, I think. You know, I say it's like, obviously I've got roommates, but I'm really the one that just makes a mess in there. So irresponsible. But good arm pump. I think, I don't know. I'm not exactly certain if I feel like the light-ish, let's just say more moderate weight squeezing sets are, as effective as some really heavy sets. Obviously with biceps today, I did want to go a little bit lighter. I just wanted to get, some activation, get a good pump, move them around. But with triceps, I think I need at least one of those sets to be a bit heavier. I'm not going to say that going absolutely insanely as heavy as possible as you can every set is the best way to do it, but every time I fucking reflect on these lifts, I pretty much say the same thing. An even mix of heavy sets as well as more moderate weight squeezing sets is going to result in what I would say is some solid muscle stimulus. But triceps, I think I needed one real heavy set. Probably, yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But still, super good pump. Definitely stimulated them. And I have noticed that I've really been working on the stretched position for triceps too. Not only do I want to do those overhead dumbbells to get that kind of like, well, super deep stretch on like the long head, this big part, but even when I do normal push downs, instead of what I have done before, just kind of bouncing around the bottom of the rep, not even getting my arms up to 90, now I've really been going through the whole thing. But then again, I've also seen, kind of some old school videos of, there's this one that comes to mind, I don't know the guy, total freak, but he's doing triceps in a way which would, let's just say if you looked in the comments section of that video, if they had social media back then, he would have got some backlash for his technique. But look at him, he's a fucking freak. He probably had 21-inch arms at least. So there's definitely multiple ways to skin the cat of stimulating your fucking muscles. That's why you see buff-ass CrossFit dudes. I make this analogy every couple days. Buff CrossFit dudes doing their full body athletic aerobic workouts. The Olympic lifter dudes, jacked and lean, super strong as well. Obviously bodybuilders, of course. Power lifters too. I mean, you can get big doing all sorts of stuff. So by that logic, the things that cross over between all those styles of training, aka, intensity, going hard on your sets, as well as getting some good rest, eating your food. If you can hit those three pillars, then to an extent, I think your training can vary widely from the dude next to you, and you'll still be able to get some results. Maybe not even some results, good results. You don't have to be an exercise physiologist. You don't have to be an exercise PhD student to go into the gym and tell yourself you're going to obliterate your biceps and you're not going to leave until you do so. And I think if you follow that little self-imposed rule, you can develop a nice set of peaks in between your shoulders and your forearms. So I think main idea, if you're fucking really putting a lot of emphasis on thinking about trying, let me try this new set. Let me try this. And, like what would do me better, do you think? Trying to figure out which tricep movement is going to better activate my short medial head, or putting that same amount, if not more effort into just making sure that all the sets that I do, I'm like, okay. Or no, let's pull a page out of Dorian Yates' book, if I can quote this correctly. Right. Somebody's got a gun to your little baby's head, and if you don't get this next rep, you get what I'm saying. Going hard will beat going smart. But if you want to get big, you should do both. You should freaking do both. I think I've made a lot of I think I've said a lot of things that make me that portray myself as though I only want to try to go hard, not optimize my training, which I guess I kind of set myself up with all the fucking anti-science TikToks and whatever. But at the end of the day, everybody who's involved with, let's just say, muscle growth, hypertrophy style training, that's what we want to do. Go hard, train better, train more efficiently, train more intensely as time progresses, and then keep raking in gains, keep raking in inches on our arms and new striations and veins on your quads and freaking skin-splitting, pump cover, ripping, awe-inspiring pumps. So don't get too caught up in the details if you can tell that you're not really pushing yourself to the limit, to the freaking limit. So I think that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm kind of just rambling off about hype gym phrases, but I gotta eat, man. I gotta freaking eat.
So when it comes to drugs,
If you're scarfing down a meal right now,
the positive thing about
finish it off, man. Get those calories into your system. And yeah. And if that's you, and I'm talking to you, the guy eating his meal right now, then I'm jealous.
So the advantage is
Shit, dude, is that Sweet Baby Ray's you got on the side? Nice. Nice. I'll make something cool in a couple minutes. That's all I got. That is all I freaking got. Cardio in the morning and then legs tomorrow. I'm excited to squat. So I'll see you next time.
I interviewed dozens of businesses and discovered that not all AI works as expected, especially in customer service. They're overwhelmed. They can't work without costly maintenance. Despite being AI, they lack intelligence. Some even believe they're above customer service, destined for greater things. But why? They were designed for something else. Zendesk AI is purpose-built to improve customer service, and it's trained on billions of interactions to make your customer experience smarter.
It ain't my dad's razor, Dad. This green bar releases trapped hairs from my face for the ultimate Gillette shave.
So we're going to go through first the arguments against direct-to-consumer advertising, and then the arguments for direct-to-consumer advertising. As ever, going to go through this way. I'll give you that why there should be no direct-to-consumer advertising, and then I'll give you the rationale for why there should be direct-to-consumer advertising. So the first one is that says, well, direct-to-consumer advertising is not informative. And so there's been some studies that have been done about this, where what they've done is they've gone through and looked at, are there errors in the advertisements that you see on television, or magazine ads, and it found that it's, the way that the process works is that if somebody comes up, if they come out with a commercial for a drug, is that the commercial gets aired. And then at some point, let's say it's really false. What it will do is that at some point, somebody will make a complaint to the FDA and says, oh, this is false. And so then the FDA looks at it, and the FDA will might come to the company and say, you've got to pull this advertisement because it has false information. Well, the advertisement can take 3 weeks for that process to go through. And so during that 3 weeks, they can usually run an advertisement for 3 weeks. So it means that they don't have to be really, really that careful to make sure that all the information that they get is totally accurate. Because there aren't that many bad things that can happen.
So you're like, oh, now you leave feeling like your biceps are empty? Or is when you... Sam broke the machine.
Sam just broke the machine.
Things that haven't been thought of
Hey, Nate? What's a little problem? Sure. So this is why... Yeah. This is why you don't... It was him. He did it. He's been here 5 minutes.
He's already breaking all your equipment. Bro, that's supposed to be your warm-up.
Well, we can't have nice things. I got warmed up. We're always... What? Is that... When you're doing the stack?
For a warm-up.
That doesn't feel that great. I saw you warmed up the elbows. Warmed up the elbows, 400 pounds. It only says 250. Okay, so yeah, this is where we actually had custom-made handles made. So just for education, I'll show you. Stop right across with the stacks. You didn't do anything wrong. I did like 6 with half the stack. That's what I do usually. I jump straight up. Metal's valuable as it bends more, it weakens and it'll snap. So if there's take care of it. I got an extra cable already. So we have the cable system that you can try, or we got the big Rogue one if you want to try that one. Yeah, I think we'll move it to the cable station to make sure. Hopefully we'll be luckier now. They're nervous. Yeah, don't break anything else.
Hey everybody, it's Bobby Flay, and I'm here with my friend, Chef Brooke Williamson.
And so they used to refer to it as the little happy glue cut because you basically made you feel better. It didn't really change anything about your life, you still have the same kind of issues, but it just sort of increased your mood. So that's a lifestyle drug because it took, these weren't people who were clinically depressed, but they were people who were just unhappy. And they said,
survival life. And of course, we talked from swimming and we gave, kind of
liquid nitrogen and liquid oxygen. The two liquids are blended glass that all the surface ability will detonate on impact. And when they detonate, they will release a super cool compound. that will freeze pretty much everything in its path. As an attacker, when you step into this effect, you're gonna notice it. You're gonna be slowed down. You'll also be leaving frozen footsteps.
Oh, fuck no. So he literally throws something that acts as a...
So for example, weight gain is something information before the slip's rub comes down.
A Melusi and a Jackal track at the same time simultaneously. And he can deny breaches?
So these footsteps are visible on the surface you're walking on, but be careful because they're also visible on the surface below. The effect is not everlasting.
No.
It's only a few seconds. If you have any of your gadgets that are of the Zoto canister,
Who's Fuse? Yo, Fuse? Hop there one, Roblox, my G. What the fuck is this strategy? What is this strategy? Somebody tell Fuse to lay down the alcohol. What is this strategy?
they will be disabled
Work
or they will be
everything.
paused.
Wait,
We realize that, well, with really
froze
cool
the fuse
temperature,
charge.
your electronics go down. If you have enough ice, you can also affect mechanical gadgets.
He froze the
mechanical
Flores.
joints and stuff like
He
that.
froze the-
So that was kind of like the eureka moment
He
where
froze the
you
ram!
be affecting mechanical gadgets.
No.
So when you're facing a terminite and you see the charge from the fuse, you have this moment of reaction
No,
where you can deploy
not a thermite.
your Zoto canister on the wall. You're going to be stopping the termite and its track. And now you're giving your team breathing room and some time to kind of think what's going to happen, what are we going to do with this, because it's not going to destroy the termite charge. It's just going to freeze it and stop it for a second. The wall is still going to blow up at the end of the effect.
It only freezes it temporarily. Now, best combination. These are the best combinations of civilization.
Back when I first became owner of Mint Mobile, I promised one of our first and longest running customers
Peanut butter and jelly. What else? A toilet and toilet paper. And number 3, this operator and Cade. If you freeze a thermite and then throw a Cade on it,
Tubaro's role
This is
to be a flex operator. This operator can both play as a roamer and as an anchor. As an anchor, Tubaro's role is really to kind of slow down a push so that the defender can really react to whatever the attacker are throwing at them. But as a roamer, you can do similar things, but do it at the further distance and be kind of safe from fuse or something like that, and be able to switch between your roaming role where you disrupt the attack a bit further.
He froze the Claymore!
Quickly running back to site and slow down whatever is happening on the objective.
he froze a Nomad. It literally freezes everything. Yo, it actually freezes. He just froze a Nomad. Watch that. He just, yo, you could roam with this guy.
Between your roaming role where you disrupt the attack a bit further from the objective and be quickly running back to site and slow down whatever is happening on the objective. With the introduction of RAM, vertical play has been playing quite a big role. So with this gadget, you can use it to deploy on the ceiling and disrupt these attackers that are above you. You can also use it to slow down the attackers, freeze them, disrupt them, or also freeze other breaching shards that they may be placing on the ceiling.
Frozen device.
Of synergy, I would say, is the gadget denial. So you have Bandit, Kaid, and Mute. Tubaro will be joining their rank and denying the wall for the attackers. You can pair this operator with, let's say, Bandit, and give Bandit more time to replace his battery and Bandit trick while the attackers are trying to breach. The second group, I would say, is the Intel group. You have Pulse and Solace. They provide a lot of information and a lot of intel for Tubaro, so he can deploy his gadget and hopefully catch the attackers that are playing upstairs or in the room next to you. The final group is, I would call, the trap operator. So you can think of Ella, Fenrir, or the other trap operators. These gadgets can be paired with the Zoto canister to really create some really disruptive and effective traps for the attackers. Looking at the counters, the first one is Maverick. Because yes, despite having a fiery gadget, he's the only hard breacher who will still be able to go through a reinforcement wall that is affected by this gadget. You can also bring an operator like Zofia, because Zofia's explosive charge will not be affected by the Zoto canister. So you can use it to destroy the canister and get rid of the effect. You can also bring frag grenades, which will also not be affected by the Zoto canister. Finally, We also have operators like Twitch and Zero. Their gadget, equipped with their laser, will be able to zap the canister and get rid of the effect. If you just want to wait and be patient, you can just wait for the effect to run out. But if you're not patient and you want to get rid of it as quickly as possible, you can shoot it, you can
This
melee
is like
it,
the
you can use your
future of the
sledge and
game,
sledge
bro.
It will immediately remove the effect and the ice will melt. Taking a look at the primary weapons of Tubarão, we have two options. First one is the MPX, which is a classic weapon.
Terrible.
One that you can see on
terrible
Valkyrie.
A classically
it's a wonderful
terrible weapon.
for a flex operator.
It's not,
The second
it's
option
not.
is the AR-15. Yes,
Ugh.
the DMR.
Bad
defense.
guns, bad
This DMR
guns.
creates a lot of distractions, and also the weapon is pretty loud, pretty powerful, so they'll be scared.
Bad guns.
In terms of secondary weapon, you have one option, the P226 MK25. It's a reliable secondary weapon. So we wanted Tubarão to be able to really fulfill his role as a flex operator. So we gave him a balance of 2-2. 2 health, 2 speed.
I like that.
In the secondary
I like
gadgets, you
that.
have two options. The
2-2.
first option is the Nitro Cell, which is really useful when you play this operator in a vertical way. You can try to catch the attacker upstairs if you're able to catch them with your gadget, but be careful.
No way.
Don't throw your Nitro Cell and your own
smart,
gadgets because
that's
they will be
smart.
disabled. So try to play smart and